Yeah, hi, good morning, and welcome to CL King's 19th Annual Best Ideas Conference. I'm David Silver, Senior Research Analyst with CL King, and I'll be moderating the discussion with ICL Group, a very unique company with nearly unique mineral resources, well-developed specialty chemical lines, and a very active innovation pipeline. Representing ICL Group is Mr. Kobi Altman. He's the Chief Financial Officer. And I'm going to turn it over to Kobi for some opening remarks, after which I will pose a series of questions. So with that, I'm happy to turn it over to Kobi Altman, Chief Financial Officer for ICL Group. Kobi.
Thank you, David. Good morning, everyone. And it's so great to present here with you. I will try to be not very long in my opening slides and to allow us sufficient time for questions, and we'll take it from there. So just before we start, just take a moment to note the safe harbor and forward-looking statement on this slide 2. And for those of you who don't know us well, this slide 3 should give you an idea of our side. It might surprise you. ICL is a tradition of more than 90 years. Today, we have more than 12,000 employees with $5 billion of sales in 2020. We'll talk in a minute. 2021 is a much better year, and in 2020 we had nearly $1 billion of EBITDA. On slide 4, on slide 4 you can see the significant advantage. You can see the significant advantages that ICL has, starting with the Dead Sea, one of our strategic resources where we benefit from low-cost mineral extractions, very sufficient energy profile. We benefit from our strategic location as well. Our supply chain allows us to significantly advantage versus our peers due to the geographic location and proximity to key ports. We also have the vast amount of industrial know-how and keep very deep knowledge and experience in agronomy, in chemistry. And on top of all of that, we participate in an amazing Israeli ecosystem of high-tech, Agritech, and now developing FoodTech. So if we move to slide 5, if you joined us for the Investor Day last September, you have heard or read about our focus on 3 key target markets: agriculture, food, and industrial. And these are on this slide 5. In our agriculture end market, we are building on our leadership in specialty plant nutrition. For our food focus, we are committed to providing specialty food solutions to meet the increasingly evolving food industry. And turning to our industrial end markets, our recent investment in capacity have enabled us to meet the booming long-term demand of our specialty offerings. We are committed to creating sustainable growth in these target markets and expect to grow both organically and through M&A as we go forward. To meet the needs of these target markets through our business segments, we are global leaders in bromine and have the most capacity, the most significant manufacturing capabilities, and also the largest ISO tank fleet, as well as the most robust R&D organization. We're also leaders in specialty phosphate. We have approximately 24% market share and the only global phosphate solution provider with a presence in each of the major geographies. We are leaders in our potash business and are one of the top 3 most competitive supplier on the cost side and have great positioning on the cost curve from the Dead Sea. In fact, in India and in China, we believe that we are already the lowest cost provider in the world today. Our innovative ag solution division is a global leader in specialty fertilizers, and we recently expanded this business through 2 significant acquisitions we have made in Brazil earlier this year, where we are now the leading specialty plant nutrition company. We expect to continue to drive growth across our businesses by focusing on our strategy, core competencies, and some mega trends. You can see a few of the growth drivers we are targeting on this slide 7, and we believe this will lead ICL to significant sustainable growth in the future. The growth drivers we have identified are focused on our specialty solutions and include sustainable industrial solution based on bromine, alternative protein and FoodTech, and next generation fertilization. The result of all of this is that we expect by the year of 2025, we will be able to generate double-digit growth in a consistent long-term way through our specialty solutions. Our innovation efforts will help us to achieve this growth trajectory. At ICL, we are committed to innovation, and we have laid out some of our framework on this slide 8. We have taken a leadership position to develop innovative products and impactful solutions for humanity's sustainable challenges. To do so, we turn our 20 R&D centers around the world. Our work in these locations have resulted in over 850 patents with more than 40 ongoing external projects. We are investing more than $50 million annually in R&D and continue to focus on the mega trends of food and agritech. ICL is working for both the inside and the outside. Our internal big accelerator has been great success and delivered approximately $25 million of EBITDA contribution last year. Externally, we are participating in the innovation ecosystem by participating with universities and others. And recently we have launched what we call our ICL Planet Startup Hub. A common theme for all of these efforts is a focus on sustainability. At ICL, we are on a mission transforming from a company that extracts minerals to a company that uses its minerals to create sustainable solutions for humanity. On slide 9, you can see some of the accolades we have received for our sustainability efforts as we have worked to move this initiative forward. Importantly, I would like to call out that just 10 days ago, ICL was the first in our industry to issue a sustainable linked loan. Our continuous focus on ESG practices, as well as our increased transparency regarding all sustainability issues, have driven us to embed these efforts into our debt structure and to adopt TCFD reporting beginning with our 2021 fiscal year. We also recently announced our plans to become carbon neutral by 2050. While we believe our sustainability focus helps set ICL apart, slide 10 provides a few other areas of this distinction. We are leaders with a long history and a strong team. Our unique mineral assets and our broad and deep background in agronomy and chemistry give us a competitive edge with our customers. We maximize our strategic locations in concert with our global logistics and distribution network to get our products to customers all around the world. Finally, while I already discussed our focus on innovation and our commitment to ESG excellence, I can't wrap up without talking about our disciplined capital approach. This has provided us with the flexibility to make significant acquisitions like we have done earlier this week and to invest in our existing businesses as we continue to target growth specialties versus commodities. By 2025, we expect our specialty offerings to deliver over 80% of our adjusted EBITDA growth with a target of $1.8 to $1.9 billion. With that, I would like to thank you for the opening remark, and I will stop sharing now my presentation, and I will hand it back to you, David, for questions.
Okay, great. Thanks, Kobi. So the first question I would like to maybe ask you to hone in on your record-setting financial performance in the year to date. So a number of your major businesses, including your phosphate specialties and your industrial products units, have had record-setting performance, in the year to date. And maybe you could discuss just the key drivers behind, your very strong financial performance in the first half of this year and your improving outlook for the balance of 2021.
Sure. So while our performance this year, as I said, it's a much better year than last year, significant growth, and it has been augmented by commodity price upside, but it has primarily been driven by our specialty businesses, which represented 53% of our total EBITDA in the second quarter that we have announced in early August. If we go one by one, for industrial products, we have benefited from a strategic shift to long-term customer agreements, and also from selling more bromine compounds versus the elemental bromine. We expect to see continued growth in these initiatives going forward. For phosphate solutions, we have also focused on growing our specialty side of the business, which has helped us contribute to our success this year. This specialty focus will remain part of our strategy going forward, especially as we target growth in the food specialties or the FoodTech. Our specialty bromine solutions are embedded in numerous consumer goods, and as life has gone somewhat back to normal this year, we have seen increased demand from the consumer electronics and automotive end markets. Our phosphorus-based flame retardants have also seen increased sales this year, with very strong demand from the construction industry, especially in Europe and North America. While it's difficult to know precisely what the future will hold, ICL plans to maintain its value over volume strategy and to build this business for the long term. We will also continue to develop sustainable new bromine applications, as innovation is core to ICL long-term growth. As you know, our bromine is from the Dead Sea, which is the most competitive source of bromine, as it has the highest concentration. As a result, the least amount of water must be extracted and evaporated to produce the bromine, which minimizes energy cost.
Okay, great. The next question, I think I'd just like to ask a little bit about kind of the longer term outlook, beyond the next couple of quarters. But, Kobi, as Chief Financial Officer, how does ICL think about setting its key long-term performance targets? Thinking of the momentum underway in your key businesses, including Potash, is there any reason that I shouldn't believe that 2022 will be a more profitable year overall than 2021? And has the healthy rebound in your results in the year to date and your outlook for 2021, has this changed your thinking about your company's long-term growth potential, let's say, versus the beginning of the year? Thanks.
Yeah, we definitely expect to see more benefit from recent price increases in the second half of this year. And that is likely to carry over into at least the first half of 2022. So yeah, no doubt we do expect an even better 2022. Next year, we also expect to see improvement driven by the expected increase in production in Spain, in our potash facility there, following the completion of our ramp project in Spain, which connected our Cabanasas mine with the Surya plant. Once production ramp up completes, this mine is expected to reach a run rate of approximately 1 million ton of potash, which will have a positive impact on our 22 results above and beyond the significant increase we see already in 2021. Maybe two things have contributed to our performance year to date. It is the commodity upcycle and the return to somewhat more normal day-to-day life following the 2020 with the COVID and kind of an initial onslaught of COVID. While commodity prices will moderate, our focus on growing and strengthening our specialty businesses hasn't changed. And this effort will help us achieve the long-term success and the 2025 targets we have set out at our Investor Day last September. So yeah, we do see a very aggressive growth momentum for ICL, and we are pleased with the outperformance that we are demonstrating.
Okay, I would say no discussion with ICL Group is complete until I ask about your views on the global potash market. So, potash prices have begun to improve, I think, after a long dry spell. Can you share with us your views for potash demand and price performance over the next 1 to 2 years? And in particular, I wanted to ask you about a marketing decision your company made earlier this year, where ICL Group took the lead in setting international potash pricing via, a highly visible negotiated transaction with India, I believe. So, can you also discuss your company's thinking in moving first to set international potash pricing ahead of both the traditional, I guess, North American or Russia-based producers? Thanks.
Sure. So clearly the positive potash environment has continued into the second half of this year with price increases across all key markets as grain prices continue to increase due to very strong demand, global demand, and supply that remain tight. While I don't know how the next year or 2 years will play out, we call ourselves price takers. We are playing in these commodity markets in that specific part of our business. So in terms of the commodities, ICL focus on growing its specialty businesses. And that's helped to shift our profit in that direction. For the second quarter, potash was the third largest contributor to profit, and we continue to execute on our strategic goal to create a more balanced contribution from our 4 growth engines: the industrial product, the phosphate solutions, innovative ag solutions, and potash. So yeah, as you mentioned, just after the first quarter ended, we signed an agreement with IPL, India Potash Limited, India's largest importer of potash, for $280 per ton, which was $50 per ton higher than the previous contract that was signed by others. This contract testified to ICL position in the market, and we were very pleased to take the lead here. India for us is a strategic market. We are serving customers in India for many years, and the relationship helped us to create this leadership move.
Okay, great. I wanted to shift over to maybe your innovation and as CFO, your thinking about resource allocation. So your company is pursuing numerous innovations across each of your company's business units. So a couple of questions, but as Chief Financial Officer, how do you choose how to allocate funding amongst your array of potential growth opportunities? And then I'm asking for your opinion here, but thinking about 3 to maybe 5 years into the future, what do you consider your most exciting organic growth opportunity or innovation, the ones that we'll be talking about the most, let's say in 3 to 5 years' time? Thanks.
Yeah. So there are a number of exciting opportunities ahead of ICL. Some are bigger and some are smaller. I mentioned the big innovation accelerator that we have, the ICL Planet, but all of them has a sustainability component. In general, we are focused on all of the specialty fronts. It's the bromine value chain, it's the phosphate specialties, the food value chain, and it's the Agritech or the innovative or the specialty fertilizer side of the house with our recent acquisitions in Brazil as a significant infrastructure to enable this additional innovation. Opportunity to provide more efficient fertilizers, to help minimize food waste, and to provide safer products through innovation. These are the most exciting, those 3 elements that I just mentioned. And as a company, we are focused on using our mineral resources to innovate and create this kind of sustainable product. So that's the main focus. It's the finding additional bromine-based solutions to humanity needs. It's the FoodTech and it's the Agritech.
Okay, great. I'm going to follow up with one of your comments about Brazil and in particular your recent acquisitions there. But of the 2, the larger one, your company recently paid over $400 million to acquire the South American plant nutrition business of Compass Minerals. And that unit is the largest specialty plant nutrition business in Brazil. So you gained a leadership position immediately with that acquisition. Maybe can you discuss how this the acquisition fits your overall growth strategy for your Ag Solutions division, and in negotiating the transaction, what would be your return on investment expectations for the purchase of the Brazil business from Compass Minerals? Thanks.
Sure. So this acquisition really significantly expands our product portfolio and profitability and allow us to deliver the critical mass we have been seeking in Brazil, one of the world's largest growing agriculture market. It's an important step, and this step delivered on our stated strategy of achieving leadership positions in high growth specialty plant nutrition markets and help accelerate our progress toward long-term global leadership for our innovative Ag Solution division. For all of the other 3 divisions, we felt that we are already leaders and we wanted to achieve this leadership position also in this 4th division, the innovative Ag Solution. And by those 2 acquisitions, the largest one you mentioned of the South America businesses of Compass Minerals, we have achieved this leadership position. We are already benefiting from this acquisition. We are extremely pleased with the fact that we were able to close the acquisition at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. which give us the entire season, the entire agriculture season under our management. And also, obviously, it will be visible into our figures starting from the third quarter, as we will report all of the great performance of this company into our financials. We are already benefiting from this acquisition as we begin to see more seasonal balance between the northern and southern hemisphere. We used to be very northern hemisphere, much more geared toward the northern hemisphere, and that created an seasonality in our businesses. Now, as we move big time into Brazil, we much more balance the agricultural seasons all around the globe, and we will start to see this in the financial performance as early as this quarter and the second half of the year. We also expect to be able to expand our product range in multiple geographies and to offer the broadest and most advanced portfolio of our plant nutrition products covering the entire agriculture value chain. And these opportunities are still ahead of us.
Okay, great. My next question is maybe going to focus on your take on the global supply chain and the challenges there that have been mentioned by many of my companies. And I apologize in advance. This will probably be an unfair question I'll be asking you for too much, but just given your very global network of production and distribution and customer locations, customer markets, I'd like to just ask you about how you view your and your customers' supply chains in particular right now. So in addition to rising inflationary pressures in general, I've read reports from Asia recently that indicate that COVID Delta variant is notably affecting both labor availability at production sites, as well as disrupting port operations, so logistics. And it's been established for several months now, but cargo and freight availability is currently pressured by very tight shipping markets and increasingly or more recently, maybe uncertain trends in air travel, due to the evolving COVID variant threat. So, from your perspective, whether it's raw materials, labor costs and availability, logistics, how would you characterize your global overall ability to meet customer demand without major disruption? And maybe how do you think this situation has evolved, maybe compared to January 1st since the beginning of the year? So an unfair question, but you could just share, your view of the global supply chain reliability. Thanks.
Yeah. So the teams have really done a remarkable job of being flexible and creative and making tough calls to get products to customers where it needs to be and on time. So no doubt you have outlined that was a significant challenge over the last year and a half, and we are still in this day-to-day challenge, but the teams have really done a remarkable job. And also as a global company, we have the benefits of operations in all of the key geographies, the ability to switch and to be flexible with customer deliveries. So this means we have we have been able to supply customers when others couldn't. We have gained some new customers this year as a result, and we hope to maintain this relationship into 2022. In general, I think again our global presence and the fact that we are located in so many countries help us to generate those procedures maybe ahead of time when we compared ourselves to others, We have learned how to live kind of side by side with COVID from our operation in China, and I'm really pleased to report that all of our production facilities were working all around this very, very challenging year and a half, and supporting and supplying to our customers. So no doubt, this is a day-to-day challenge, but so far we are really pleased with our ability to deliver. And as I said before, this gives us a significant competitive ability, and this is we are gaining market share, we are gaining customers because of our reliable supply.
Okay, great. We have kind of a few minutes left, and I'd like to ask you maybe to focus in on one particular innovation opportunity that's been discussed recently in terms of battery technology. So less than a month ago, your company announced a new initiative in electric battery technology involving what's called LFP technology, or lithium iron phosphate. Batteries for both electric vehicles and energy storage. And, I was intrigued by this since it seems to draw on multiple core strengths of your company, including specialty phosphate production, LFP battery technology development, and your strong relationships and business base in China, currently the main market for this particular battery technology. So could you just take a few minutes and discuss the long-term opportunity for LFP batteries in China and elsewhere? And I'm wondering, would you say this initiative has, what we would call a home run potential, or the potential to really be quite large over a longer period of time? Thanks.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, LFP technology has other potential applications, including heavy and medium trucks, grid storage, and electric vehicle charging. The global market is expected to be more than $1.5 billion this year, with China making up the majority of that amount. The overall market is expected to continue to grow, both inside and outside of China. However, China is still expected to maintain dominance. While ICL is a new supplier to LFP battery manufacturers, we view the strong demand of EV and energy storage as a source of potential growth for both our phosphate and the bromine-based specialty products. With that, this game has many innings left to go, and at least for 2021, we don't expect to see a significant financial impact, but we are very, very pleased with these initiatives, and we will continue to grow this business.
Okay, I think we have kind of one minute left, and I would like to just ask you to maybe hone in, if you wouldn't mind, a little bit on your bromine compounds development. So long-term goal of your company is to sell more bromine in the form of value-added compounds relative to the elemental bromine. And you've mentioned it in a couple of places, but when you look at your bromine business development, let's say over the next 3 to 5 years, where will the growth come from? Will it be in flame retardants? Will it be in bromine for batteries? What are the more interesting kind of derivatives of bromine that you think will account for an increasing share of your growth in that business? And we only have about a minute, so I'm being very unfair to you, but spill the beans.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. So again, the main strategy that we have is to move customers from elemental bromine to the bromine compounds. It allows us to offer to them solutions and services above and beyond the basic products. And this is our strategy. Some of our customers are taking our bromine compounds and take it into electronics or automotive and constructions. And we don't really care what exactly they do with that. We offer them the entire portfolio, and they have the flexibility also to move between the various. So it is less important for us what is the exact end market when it goes. And when construction is high, it goes more to constructions. When electronics is higher, it goes to electronics. For us, it's the tightening up the long-term relationships of services and solutions we can create to our customers on the bromine compounds.
Okay, great. We're kind of right on schedule here, which is shocking to me. But anyway, with that, I'd like to thank Kobi Altman, Chief Financial Officer for ICL Group, for taking the time and sharing his vision of the company at this point in time. Kobi, thank you very much. I appreciate your participation in our conference.
Thank you so much, and thanks for presenting in your conference. Thank you so much.
Okay, great.